Okay, this is lesson 2 of drawing the NASCAR 13, the Chevy car. And what I did was I did quite a bit of work on off camera. And what I did was it was on the body, and I put down a base amount of ink on it so that I'd have something to start with. Like I usually do, I want to do the darkest areas first, and then that gives me some idea of how the dark values are, and then I can work from the lighter ones to the darker ones and in between, so that I have a full range of tonal values, and that makes for a more interesting picture. If it were just all black and white, it would look like a cartoon. So I don't like to do that. I like to make it a full spectrum of shades of gray and leading from white to black, and that way it makes a more interesting picture. And if I can put shadows in it and highlights and all that, then it brings up the interest in the drama of the drawing itself, so somebody remembers it. And if you're going to spend this much time, you might as well do something that's going to look good and something that you want to do too. So these are drawings that I love to do, and I love to show people how to do them, and I hope you enjoy them too. Anyway, as you can see, I'm just putting a lot more ink on it right now. I've reserved some areas for highlights and for things that that need to be left lighter. The corner of the body that's just below the driver's window and the rear window, that is light. That is reflecting back to the camera, to the viewer's eye. So that's going to be kept fairly light, not as light as it is now, of course, because that's just a paper color. But that I'm reserving those areas, and anything that has a reflection on it is going to be kept very light for now, and then we'll figure out how much the value actually will be relative to the very darkest areas. So there's a lot more detail I have to put in. That it says Chevy SS on the upper rear quarter panel, the fender panel. So I'm going to have to really go around that, and it's going to take a little while to do that. And on the front, there is what looks like a headlight. It really isn't, of course, because these cars don't have headlights, but it's a decal on there, so I want to make sure that I get that right. And just forward of the one from the number 13, there's a vent that comes out of the fender, and that's the area that's at an angle headed kind of forward. And so I've left that also because it ends up looking like it's in brushed aluminum, and I want to make sure that I don't get that too dark. Okay, it's coming along fairly well. I'm just trying to get a reasonably dark value and make it fairly even, but it's not, I'm not knocking myself out over it just yet. When I do the final once over with the car, then I'll have to really work on that and make sure that it's all of just one tonal value, or just what it should be, because there might be a slight difference from the photograph. And I hadn't finished that panel right underneath the number that I'm working on right now, underneath the Chevy symbol, the Chevy logo. And also there's a rocker panel that goes down below there too, so I'm going to still have to work on that. And that's basically the same color as the body, but it looks like it has screws that hold it on, and it also looks like it has some little black thing on it, a rectangle down on the very bottom of it. It's kind of indistinct in the photograph, so I'm going to try and have to figure out what that is. But it's coming along great. I think this thing is really going to look sharp, especially with that weird plastic net mesh window that's in the driver's side and in the other side. And that's going to make for a very interesting looking picture, I think. Anyway, just going along here, just dotting this all in and working through getting some color on it. But it is going great so far. I think the white of the numbers and then the gold trim around it and stuff, it's really going to look good. It's going to make it look very exciting for something that doesn't have any color in it. It's only tonal values, but it'll look good. Anyway, looks like we're getting down near the end of it today. But come on back tomorrow. We'll put a whole bunch more ink on the body, and we'll get it to the point that you can start to see it come along as this car. And that's the fun part, when you start to see that it is actually moving. Anyway, that's it. I hope to see you tomorrow. We'll do a lot more. Thanks again. Bye.